Everybody. Hi, everybody. This is my first Facebook live stream. Hi, everybody. This is my first Facebook live stream. It's Michael André Ford in San Antonio, Texas. You're angel intuitive, but as I like to always remind everybody, I just help set this up. You do all the work, which is just basic listening, hearing, seeing as well. 75 plus angels and a lot of other figures from around the world. Unconditional love figures, Mother Teresa, Buddha, Sai Baba, a lot of Native American chief figures, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo. This has been going on for about 7 or 8 years. I've helped a couple thousand people. If you go to my website, michaelandreford.com, that's Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, Andre, A-N-D-R-E, Ford.com. You can see 50 plus testimonials. I've helped a co-founder from Kripalu, helped somebody from Omega Institute, Esalen, a few people from UC San Diego, professors, a happiness psychologist, people from Columbia University's Spirituality, Mind, Body, Spirit School, Hollywood film director, Barnett Bain. But what's cool about this is you've had thousands of experts, Eckhart Tolle, Gary Zukav, Byron Katie. They all are fantastic and have helped set the table to this point. They help you take a look at yourself, where you're at, help you establish your presence out of your heart, help you let go of your details a little bit, change your story. This is the next thing. Everyone gets a shot at meeting unconditional love figures directly. I pull back the veil. Picture Tyler Henry, but without the sweats. You don't have to watch him suffer through Uncle Joe's heart attack. You get to experience directly the seeing, the hearing, all languages spoken. I got lucky with the camera. I was a little nervous 8 or 9 years ago. I started taking photos of angels. Go to my website, take a look around, or my Facebook profile and so on. But you get the direct experience of hearing, seeing, and feeling. And by feeling, I mean hugs. And those hugs can get bigger and bigger the more you allow for those hugs to grow. This is a lot to take in. If I go to a publishing house like a Sounds True or a Hay House, there's no takers. It's awesome that they'll consider, a book written by angels. I have one. It's called Listening to Angels, a very short book for $4.99 on Amazon or iTunes. It's been out for probably 6 years. Super short book written by angels. You don't need me, and that's the big thing. If I'm some sort of an expert or guru, I'm telling you, kick me out of the way, you do it all. So you sit still, get to your heart, let go of thinking, and simply set your intent. Give yourself permission to let go, hear, feel, and see angels, but most importantly, ask them. You literally sit down with pen and paper and ask your questions, listen, and for the first few moments, it's kind of scary. But after a little while, you settle down, get past your own voice, and actually start to hear personality from angels. Again, you ask for hugs. I usually set people up with photos of angels as props, but those photos will move and change colors. Historical photos of Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, they will also move. Sai Baba's photo will move. Audrey Hepburn, an angel, she'll wink or smile in a photo. This is just whatever you'll allow for. I'm on the same page as anybody else who's skeptical about this. This is a lot to take in. It's definitely something that is really just about allowing for a little more compassion, a little more love, a little more flexibility, a little more open-mindedness in one's life. We've all got our views on stuff. We are all in certain situations and certain roles, and we also think we're under certain obligations. And, for some, life can be pretty tough or challenging, or just that's the way it is. I'm here to help those who are a little more flexible in their approach. If they're easygoing about this and they will permit all of this to exist, they will get their answers. They just have to trust that angels are around and their answers will come. So this is a lot of fun to do. And again, I've helped 2,000 plus people in the last 6, 7, 8 years. People can do this as a group. They have to own it individually first. So it's a bit of a leap through the looking glass, if that's Alice in Wonderland, or down the rabbit hole. You have to actually permit the concept of angels. And when I say seeing, yes, you can see in light energy form. I baby step you. You get a little ball of light or flecks of light and so on. But you could see angels around me right now if you wanted to. Just clear out is sort of the only tool in the toolbox that I ever suggest, and that is just give yourself permission to get out of here, get to here, see, hear, and feel with all of you, just as you would on an athletic field, when you do yoga, when you go to write something, when you go to cook, go for a walk. You can't be in thinking all the time. I mean, we try. All of us try. We probably spend 80% of our day thinking. This is those moments when you let go and you're not analyzing, judging, or reacting. So it could be brushing your teeth, falling asleep at night, making a meal, going for a walk, skateboarding, surfing. Whenever you rock out on an activity or you're hanging out with someone and you're in the artistic, creative flow, athletic flow, ballerina on a stage, you're one with the moment. And that's what this is really about. The whole Eckhart Tolle thing, being present in the current moment, letting go of the detail, letting go of what you know. It's all going to come right back. But a second you give yourself permission to be here, everyone has a big heart. They also have a lot of thinking. As soon as you get to here, stuff starts to happen. So I've got a little $4.99 book called Listening to Angels. If you think I wrote it, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's very compassionate. The foreword in the book is literally one whole page. The conclusion's one whole page. There's an epilogue by an angel named Dale, who coached a famous world-class gymnast who won a lot of golds. Everyone would know her name. But that angel named Dale wrote a great epilogue in that book that likens the whole life experience to a undergraduate degree and a master's degree. The undergraduate degree, and you got to have one before the other, the undergraduate degree is just understanding that there's a difference between thinking, what you know, reacting, judging, and being in the heart, where all of the living really takes place. Love, unconditional love. So not judging, not buying into thinking, not buying into the idea that you have to change everyone and change the world. The only thing you can really control, in my humble opinion, is that 3-foot sphere around you. You focus on letting go, being the kindest, gentlest, most compassionate, loving figure you can possibly be. And that's 20% of the day would be a gold medal if you could let go of thinking just a little bit more. But Dale writes a great epilogue in that book. And again, the undergraduate degree is recognizing that there's a difference between thinking and the heart. And once you've got that down, all of life starts to unfold. Everyone has a unique life path. And that's where you get going on living that unique life. Again, it's a super short book. It's about meeting 7 angels. Photographs are provided. Again, if you think somehow I did the photographs, I took the photographs. Archangel Michael's in there, an angel named Joy, Charlotte, Penelope, Heather, and a couple others. Fantastic little book. There's, I think, 3 reviews on Amazon. But if you go to my website, there's 50 plus testimonials from former Miss USA, a Buddhist Lama, Dawa Tarchin Phillips in Santa Barbara. Again, that website's www.michaelandreford.com. And I've had Jonathan Ellerby, that ex-spiritual director at Canyon Ranch, who's over at the Althea Center in Denver, who's fantastic. He's done the service. He's been very supportive. A big shout out to him. This is something, though, that anybody can do. And again, all languages are possible. Think of it as a vibration, all of this. You put it out to the universe that you need a little help on something. You ask a question, you sit still. The scariest thing in the world, to drop to here and not be focused on all the stuff we're normally focused on. Pen tip to paper, ask your question, listen, keep your eyes on a photo, peek around my website, you can find a few photos of angels. Ask, listen, get a little whisper back, write down your answer. Just a little bit of practice, sort of like riding a bike. It's shaky, it's wobbly at first, you're nervous, but within a few days, few hours, you nailed it. You're riding a bike, you're excited. And in the first few weeks of learning to ride the bike, you have to tell everybody you're going for a bike ride or jingling the keys for a car. You're excited, you call up friends, you tell everybody you're going for a drive. That's generally how we react to all this stuff. So it's a really big deal for some. Some react and say, we got to get this out to the world, but angels have always been around. Unconditional love figures, Mother Teresa, Sai Baba, Buddha, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Black Elk, White Buffalo Calf Woman, who's a little bit like Mary. Figures from India, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Rama, Lakshmi, Sri Kaleshwar, again, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago. This is something that, again, it's a direct experience. If you went off to Esalen Omega Institute, Canyon Ranch, Hay House with all their authors. I think Sounds True has 600 authors. Look at the bookshelf behind me, filled with fantastic, fantastic offerings. Everyone is pointing in a certain direction, and a lot of them are pointing at the figures I just talked about. Chogyam Trungpa, the Tibetan Buddhist Lama, passed away in 1987. He's fully available. I've had 2 people who have studied under him. I literally pull back the veil, so you get to meet him directly. You get to hear him directly. If you close your eyes, you can go to a Tibetan mountaintop and he'll show you things, and you can walk with him and just have a 2-way. That's a little bit of a kind of a guided meditation, but I only help for the first 30 seconds. You do the rest. He does the rest. So you would have to trust that unconditional love figures exist, and that's it. I am simply, if it's a golf analogy, I take the tee, I take the golf ball, I tell you to grab any club, give you a little bit of instruction, but pretty quickly you're swinging, and then you're swinging far down the course. And this is something where you pick up the listening skills and the hearing skills and the seeing skills and the feeling skills for the rest of your life. This is your own business athletic intuition that you've always had, and just view this as an expansion of what you've already got going on. It's a bit of Plato's cave, though, and you can meet him as well. Plato, Seneca are a part of this. Seth from the 1970s, if you remember Jane Roberts, picture him more as a light being, and I know that's a little woo-woo-woo. I'm woo-woo-woo, but I gotta say, this is also super practical. If you can put yourself here and you can take the chance that this is real, I always say you deserve a monument in the local town square nearby. It takes a lot of guts, but I also argue that this leap of faith, whether it's religious, non-religious, it's the same thing. It's trusting that this is possible. I also argue that this leap, while it might feel like a mile down, is just a millimeter or 2. It's a very small leap of faith. You have to simply clear out of here and everything you know and all your situations and problems and details and your past experiences to simply be in the now. And when you put yourself here, everything is possible. The heart knows no limits, and that's what this is really about. I always like to say, if there are no limits in life, maybe there are really no limits. So think of all the great work that Byron Katie's done with respect to human thinking. Think about what Eckhart Tolle has done to talk about the power of now, one's personal presence, and so on. I just help another person or group of people kindle what they already have inside. And that's a really big heart, unlimited potential here. And what's great is I think the record is 9 hours. An Australian, New Zealander got 49 pages of answers in 9 hours. So you just have to know how to work a pen and ask questions, get your answers. Angels are happy to oblige. When you ask for a hug, you feel a hug. There's 10,000 ways to get a hug. Back of the neck, goosebumps on the arm, yummy in the tummy, hand on the shoulder. You can feel a feather on the wings of angels. I know that can sound extreme, but when you go to see them, you can see them. You look out a window, maybe you pick a football field away. You can see an angel standing there full on. You don't start with that. You start with baby steps. I show you your energy. I show you your aura, your universal life force energy on your hands first. And you can see it on a dog, on a tree, on a bush. If you have a sister or a brother or a family member nearby and they're open and friendly, you can look and see their aura on their head. I've done that for a few thousand folks. That's not a big deal, but it's a great warm-up exercise. And so as soon as you see that, you're kind of like, whoa, something's up. And you can feel it too. So picture all those happy moments when you're on a beach, vacation. You don't have to be in Hawaii to be relaxed. Any moment is a great moment to be in your heart, to take a breath, which is a great way of opening openness itself. A single breath, a single smile, a single appreciation of what is around you is sort of the doorway, the gateless gate, if we want to go all Zen Buddhist here. So this is something available to everybody. It's really hard to grasp for the wellness, spiritual, publishing, literary agent communities and lots of folks. I mean, you're suggesting that Buddha is an actual figure people can sit down and talk with, or an angel named Charlotte, or your guardian angel, or your passed over relative. So if you've met a bunch of angels and you've talked to Mother Teresa, you've talked to Buddha, you've talked to Sai Baba, you've talked to Chogyam Trungpa, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, you name it. There's 150 plus figures. Abe, the Abraham of old. If you've gotten that down and you can see angels standing there, you can have a loved one, a passed over loved one, come in. You can have a two-way conversation. You can not only see them, have the two-way conversation, you can ask for a hug and feel a hug. So again, this is more about pulling back the veil and experiencing what has already been around us forever. And it's just more available now. This is mankind's ready for more compassion, more unconditional love, a little less rat race mode, which is thinking. We all do a lot of thinking, and that is the state of human nature right now. But 10% less thinking a day, to quote an angel, again, back to Dale, is the Olympic gold standard. It's not reasonable to completely let go of your thinking at this juncture. So this is a fun service to do. Again, get any level of detail to any question. Career, relationships, finance, where to go on vacation. I think that's the number one question, but I'm going to have to wait till post-pandemic for that one. But think of what this would mean for scientists that could keep an open mind and jump right into this. They could shave a lot of time off their research, and I'm not sure how they'd fill that time. Probably more questions and more research in other directions. But you literally are getting help from the other side, where they are not limited by human thinking. It's unconditional love that's just here to assist. Yes, it can feel scary. Yes, this can be something that is easily judged. But I've got 2,000 plus people who have done this, and so again, if you visit michaelandreford.com, that's Michael, Andre, Andre, like the champagne, Ford like the car.com, www.michaelandreford.com. You can find photos of angels. You can find a website that details everything a little more clearly. Discovery sessions are $250 for 90 minutes. I always try to give you a little extra, whether we're talking time or extra angels, instead of just 6 angels, Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Sai Baba, plus 3 Native American chiefs, Dolknife, Red Shirt, Geronimo. I always try to sneak a little extra in so you walk away absolutely astounded and happy with the session. A whole day, $1,000. If anybody wants to just go and check out that book, it's Listening to Angels. It's $4.99 on Amazon, iTunes as well. Super short, 15-minute read, very gentle book. Again, if you think I wrote it, thank you very much. It's a super compassionate, gentle approach to this whole thing. Loving language. And you can find, if you go to my LinkedIn profile or go to my Facebook page, you can find, I've put the epilogue in there from Listening to Angels. I've put the prologue from another book I've got, Glow Stick Zen. 1,300 pages. When I started to get intuitive, I had to do some writing. I got some help from angels on that one. I'd say I wrote maybe a third of it. It's broken into 22 books on Amazon. You can buy the whole thing at Apple. I don't recommend necessarily reading that book. It's a great book. It helps a person separate from their thinking and take the trek up the mountain into their heart. I think it's fun. It's got a lot of great quotes in it. But the prologue, I think, is the best part. It's a page and a half. So if you want, you should be able to find that on Facebook, one of my posts in the last 7 or 8 days or so. Again, angels are around, super easy to do. This is a lot for the senses. Behind me, I see, behind me right there, I see Tinkerbell, a Funko Pop of her. I should mention fairies exist, and yes, that's another one of those woo-woo-woo things. But I've got photos of fairies. You see fairies. You see them 7 different ways. You can see a fairy in your hand this tall as sort of the grand finale. This is a lot of letting go and a lot of allowing. So if I had to talk for a second about compassion, allowing, unconditional love, being in your heart, being, breathing, just being one with all, harmony, that's what this is about. You're letting go of all the stuff that helps you get stuck in life, the stuff that reinforces like concrete what your situation is. I don't have a job, my health issue, my this, my that. Life is constant change, and our thinking is, I think I'm going to be quoting some other authors here or other material, but our thinking is really a reflection or reaction to our circumstances, and it's not, our brain is really a secondary organ. I'm quoting, I think, Dan Millman, Peaceful Warrior there. But life happens when you're in your heart, and when you're loving, when you're at peace. just a couple extra breaths a day, a meditative exercise. This is about meditation. This is about mindfulness. This is about consciousness. This is about growing your awareness. And this is about spotting your thinking before you let it completely take hold and label someone or label yourself. This is about self-love first, giving yourself a break, some much needed connection with life, recharging your batteries and so on, and then allowing life to help you out so that you see more synchronicity kick into gear. It's awfully fun to meet angels. Meeting your guardian angel can be one of the hardest things. You could nail everything else, but you ask for your guardian angel's first name. And because it's such a big deal, you attach to it. It's the one area where people tend to stumble even if they've been nailing everything else. But very quickly, you do get that angel's name. And you can meet that angel, again, seeing full on at a distance. You can close your eyes and get it done. You can do both. So everyone has a guardian angel, not to try to tell you anything, but dogs have guardian angels. You can talk to your dog too. Dogs are like third graders. This is about listening with all of you. It's the same intuitive skill that you have when you go to cook. You just know how to do stuff. When you ride a bike, when you brush your teeth. No one approaches brushing, or not many of us approach brushing our teeth with, I don't know, a worried perspective. We don't stay up the next 3 nights after we brushed our teeth on Tuesday night and worry if we got this tooth or missed this tooth or did it right. We just do it. There's certain stuff that we just take for granted. We hop in a car and we just know how to drive. And we do put our focus on the traffic that we get stuck in for an hour and we get upset. So I think that's such a great metaphor, is where we put our focus is where we put our focus. And how we spend our energy is how we spend our energy. I think just having a little more mindfulness, a little bit more awareness that our focus is what creates everything that we experience, the people we bring in, the events that we attract, again, the relationships that we attract, the outcomes that we attract. I guess we're getting into a little more Abraham Hicks here. What a wonderful organization. Esther Hicks is definitely perky and fun. There's an angel named Charlotte who you can talk to a little bit about the whole Abraham Hicks thing. I love them, fantastic. But back to angels. Got photographs of angels, and again, not just balls of light that some people like to call orbs, but shapes. Silhouette of an angel named Minwala. You can find that on my website. Again, www.michaelandreford.com. And you can look and you'll see some photos right there on the very first page. So I just got a question. How do you know that your intuition is accurate? It's such a great question, because anyone getting started is going to feel like, hey, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? I'm getting a little whisper. How do I trust? How do I know what's coming in is good? And that's really the name of the game. It takes some time. And so yes, to whoever's texting in, yes, you can ask a question. But so I got asked just now if you know, how do you know that your intuition is accurate? It's like getting on the soccer field when you were a kid and playing soccer, and you've got to learn the skill of just how you handle the ball, dodging others, slide tackling others, getting that ball into the goal, or just we'll talk cooking, we'll talk riding the bike, it wobbles, you're scared. There's just an organic learning curve. You start off, you're going to have to trust yourself, you're going to have to trust your heart, you're just going to have to trust that you know how to listen. And I would argue you've been doing listening all your life with your friends, your family members, colleagues, at the workplace, at school, wherever you are. Half that listening you've been distracted and you're thinking about the grocery list and the shopping or the errand or the task you've got to do. So ego, let's talk about ego for just a second. Ego is just getting lost in perceived tasks, accomplishments, roles. I'm just going to be a dad for a while, or I'm just this, or buying into your own success as an expert. My whole shtick is I help everyone or anyone get out of their own way to allow for that natural ability to listen, that natural ability to feel. You know, when you're watching a great movie and you connect, you're either in tears or you're laughing or something amazing, and you walk away and say, what an amazing movie. It doesn't have to be a Disney movie. And as a total tangent, check out the movie Peaceful Warrior. Dan Millman's book, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. I absolutely love that book. I think it's not non-denominational. It's got a little Zen in it, but it's one of the easiest, most fun books. I mean, every time I go to reread that book, I find new material in it. And I think I've read that thing 30 times. The movie, you know, I'm in America. We like shortcuts. The movie, fantastic as well. Nick Nolte at one of his best roles ever. Scott Micklowitz, Amy Smart's in it. Gymnastics movie. Takes place, they filmed it in, I think, 2006, 2005. What a fantastic film. Socrates is the gas station attendant. And sorry to do this if anyone's a huge fan of the movie, but that's an actual angel people can meet. So I'm throwing that one out there. People can meet that angel. He's a little bit like a Jeff Bridges figure, blue Hawaiian shirt, tuft to hair here, gives big bear hugs, great advice, good life coach, very much like that angel Dale that I talked about. A lot of good life, business, athletics coaching to be had from those two. So back to how do you know your intuition is accurate? There's trust. Letting go of the thinking, which is just judging, reacting, knowing something to the preclusion of possibility. Everyone's spending their energy out there, how they're spending their energy. I don't want to change anyone or suggest anything for anyone that isn't willing to just do some basic listening. So everyone should keep doing whatever they're doing, and how they spend their energy is what they think is the best way to spend their energy. But when you look at 7 billion people rocking it out there, some people are causing harm, not good. And there's a proper understanding on how to be here, how to help others, how to be more compassionate, more kind, more gentle. It's got to start with you on you. You've got to be nice to yourself first before you can get out there and start doing things for others. So this is a very interesting, very, very interesting service in that angels will help you get a handle on where you are in life. The same thing with those 3 Native American chiefs. Dullknife, Red Shirt, Geronimo. Dullknife is wisdom with some humor. Red Shirt is like the gentlest mom in the world. Compassion, compassion, compassion. And Geronimo is all about action. Do it now. Very roguish, good sense of humor, dry wit, a lot of fun. But those 3, their skills are getting you from point A to point B in anything. A business situation, health situation, specific concrete steps that you can take. And because they're unconditional love, Native American figures, they're much more, I don't know how to say it, earthbound. So much easier to connect with. If you think angels are a big deal, these guys are a cinch. They're going to feel like long lost uncles with just always the best advice. And that's the other thing about this, is you don't have any privacy. You're not getting judged. There's 150 plus figures. They already know where you're at. They already know the likely questions or the questions you're going to ask. They know exactly how to talk to you. So when you get those answers, they're usually phrased just the way you need to hear it. Think about any given phrase. Karma, law, a feather flock together. There's 1,000 ways to say whatever that concept is. But you and I walking around with our personalities only have like 5 or 6 ways we're going to allow for that we're going to describe that concept. Birds of a feather, karma, what goes around comes around, and so on. And then there's only 1 or 2 ways that if we get an answer that will leave us on cloud 9, leave us excited, that will reach us. Because no 2 people are alike. Even if they're at the same organization, same publishing house, same church, same New England Patriots football team squad, same fantasy football league, nobody thinks quite the same. Everybody has their own individual reality, own set of values, own take on everything. So this isn't really to get everybody operating the same way in any means. This is instead going to work with what you've got to help you experience a little more openness. This is about openness, to sound Zen or Buddhist-like here. Again, this is a direct experience. People get to directly hear from angels. You can feel something's up. There's a lot of compassion. There's a lot of letting go. Some people cry because they've just got situations going on, or they've been carrying too much thinking around. We'll call it Samsonite baggage. Others are yawning because they're experiencing tremendous amounts of compassion coming in. I had one person in the last 6 months almost yawn the entire session, and it wasn't because I was boring. But the yawning is a good sign as well. It's just an act of letting go, and that's all this is. You're literally, I don't care if you're from Hawaii, from Asia, from the Middle East, from India, you get it your way, and you get additional unconditional love figures. All of them are here to help. All of them are here to get you your details. And think of it this way. If you sat for 5 hours and asked every question under the sun and got all the answers, you'd still be left with a lot of action steps. You'd still have to take the action for your business, for your family situation, for your personal life, for your relationships, for your career, whatever we're talking about, whatever you asked about, you still have to actually live your life. How do you take those action steps? Whatever you do, you have to get out of thinking. A good business person is here. A good athlete type is here. Anytime you start thinking when you're playing golf, you shank the ball. When you're one with the golf ball, one with the club, when you're in your heart having fun, that's when you get the hole in one. So we all know about, we've all experienced that harmony, that oneness with everything. That's what this is about. It takes a little bit of letting go. The letting go, you can call it whatever you will. Faith, trust in the universe, trust in yourself, trust in your own intuition, trust in your own skills. And that's another area. People can build out their skills. Let's say you're an intuitive veteran for 30 years. You've been an established healer. You got 25 books out there, but you only see with your eyes closed. I help people let go to fully round out their skills. If you think you can only do it one way, and with your permission, I don't want to push anything. You can see with your eyes open fully. There's many sort of sub skills. When you ask for a hug, it can be healing. You just have to trust after about 20 hugs that this whole setup is real, and it's pretty spectacular too. So if you've got any questions out there, send them in. I'm going to talk a little bit right now about compassion, unconditional love, and so on. First, my website, www.michaelandreford.com. Take a look at that if you get a chance. There are 50 plus testimonials from business people, from a former Miss USA, from a NASA, the space agency, oceanographer, who's a near-death experience expert, from the author Jonathan Ellerby, from lots of other fun folks, film director Barnett Bain. I think he's been on the staff at Esalen, Omega Institute, and so on. This is a direct experience. There's probably 120 plus angels that I've come across, or more than that. But in a limited amount of time, 90 minutes, you can probably meet, a dozen angels plus a bunch of other figures. Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Sai Baba, Geronimo, the 3 Native American chiefs who are unconditional love figures. When you go to see, let's say it's Audrey Hepburn, she's awfully fun. When angels unfurl their wings, you can get some sparks. There's a lot of light energy. I don't know how else to call it. Just picture, like out of a sci-fi movie, seeing a form of energy that you don't normally see. If you've ever accidentally seen an aura, that's what this would be about. Otherwise, I'd describe it like the Northern Lights, but in a more immediate format. You can see energy on my hand, and if you really cleared out right now, you should be able to see a few angels around me. Let me tell you a dad joke to see if I can get you to loosen up. If you laugh, if you giggle, give yourself permission to see, get to hear, and look around me. I often have people who can see balls of light, streaks of light, etc. While they're speaking with me, when they're not yawning. Okay, a dad joke for you. It's going to be Santa's reindeer, Blitzen, Dancer, just those two. You don't have to know who they are. Why do Blitzen and Dancer drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks. Okay, somewhere in the world right now, anyone watching, give me a little laugh and let me know you thought that was funny. Dad joke. I'll give you one more. Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's good old Ernie say? Sure, Bert. So, this is Michael André Ford in San Antonio. I'm your angel intuitive. I help you step out of your own way to meet, hear, and see angels. Mother Teresa, Sai Baba, Vishnu, Ganesh, Krishna. Not just figures from India, but figures from Buddhism. Figures from the whole Native American realm. This is direct. I pull back the veil. You get to fully hear in your own original language. If it's Telugu from India, if you speak Spanish, French, if you speak 6 languages, you can hear in multiple languages. One time I had 5 women from Japan. They got most of their answers in Japanese. I help you not only get answers, I help you get hugs. I help you see directly. I literally pull back the veil. Yes, if you own it, you can also meet, hear, and see passed over loved ones. So It's a lot to take in. Just picture what Tyler Henry does, but a whole extra, instead of 3D, 5D, something like that. You are getting out of your own way, getting out of what you physically know as possible to allow the universe to come in and help you out. Just think of it as a wonderful, fun experience. Angels are all around you, with you. If you're for any reason like, I don't know, that's too big, too much for me, just trust that angels are there, you're heard, and make your request one way. That's what's been going on the whole time. It's Winnie the Pooh. Everyone talks to animals, but nobody listens. So I would remind you that everything probably has consciousness. We know that at an atomic level, everything's moving, got energy, and so on. Think of it this way, back to Joseph Campbell. I mean, energy is consciousness. It is love. It is life. And the more you're here, the more you sparkle, the more you grow. How about that? Heart growth, your soul's path, your unique life path, and allowing it to unfold. There's a lot of times in life we get our dreams, we've got certain skills, we've got certain paths we should follow, and because of finances, because of stress, because of our position, we're stuck somewhere, we think we can't pursue that. Angels are great for helping us to get unstuck. Again, everything is direct. You ask, you listen, you write down your answers. You can get a clarification. You can get 10 more answers. I love business people. They're very disciplined. A quarter of them have family issues that they want to get resolved first, but a business person knows their model. They want to get new clients. They want to get 30 names of who to call. Totally reasonable. If you can ask, listen, and you know how to operate a pen and paper, you're going to get your answers. So this is a very, very practical exercise, and it's something where you don't need me down the road. You don't even have to use paper and pen. You don't have to have the photos. You can simply look up into the ether if you like initially, and after a while you don't even look up anymore and be like, hey, Geronimo, are you there? And you're going to hear a yeah. And then you can ask a question, get an answer, get a hug. You can go for a walk, and you can have a running chat. Take a shower, have a chat with your favorite angel. It's a wonderful experience. Again, it's a lot for the spiritual, the woo-woo-woo, the wellness communities as a whole, but it's where they're all headed, and it one day will be embraced, probably when I'm about 80 years old at this point. I'm 52 right now. But again, this stuff's direct. You can see a bunch of angels standing around. Chat with them, get your hugs. For the really bold ones, people who seize life in the moment quite often, probably do a lot of bridge, bungee cord, and jump, or hot air balloons, or whatever, jumping out of an airplane with a parachute, the gutsy stuff. For people who are like that, you can see full on 10 feet away. In a chair right there, you could have a chat with Plato. No hugs for him, sweaty. All the other angels, get your hugs. Sore muscle from gardening, asked to have it worked on. So, anyhow, we're doing a live stream here on Facebook. It's my first one ever, so thanks for your patience. Fairies exist. Tinkerbell exists. If you go to my website, www.michaelandreford.com, you will see the person who used to be the booker, staff member at Omega Institute, admitting in the end of her testimonial that Tinkerbell was her very favorite. It is mind-blowing after you've gotten all your answers. You've met a couple dozen angels. You've met Native American chiefs. You've met Buddha, Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Sai Baba, Vishnu. You get to fairies and you're like, whoa, just think little balls of light. They still are great for answering a scientific question or something about relationships or whatever, but they're a lot of fun. And they're great for helping you with your seeing, because there's about 7 different ways to see a fairy. And I've got a lot of beautiful photographs of fairies. And I don't mean just little balls of light, actual shapes, wings, the whole bit. So picture being able to see a fairy after you've done 6 different ways. Picture closing your eyes, having your hand out like you're getting 20 bucks in your hand, and you hear ready, and you look down and you see the classic Disney style of a fairy in your hand. It is mind-blowing, but it's fun, and it's something anyone can do. The only limit here, and anyone who's skeptical, I'm with you. This is a lot to take in. I feel for Sounds True. I feel for Hay House. I feel for so many people out there who it's hard to allow actually exist. So Picture being able to sit down with any of 150 plus angels, get absolutely any answers to any questions in any language. It's just a function of how much time do you have, can you let go fully to get to here, which I would argue, yes, you do it all the time to brush your teeth, cook a meal, laugh at a joke, just smile and appreciate nature, go for a walk. I mean, anytime you're letting go, you're driving a car, 90% of that driving the car, you're letting go. You just know how to do it. You don't agonize over where do I put the key in, stuff like that. That is the level of difficulty here. Do you know how to operate a pen? How fast can you write? Write down your answers. Get your hugs. How do you get a hug? Ask for a hug, you feel a hug. So we're back to the Winnie the Pooh quote, everyone talks to animals, but no one listens. So it's a two-way flow. Put yourself here, stay open, allow. Big, capital A with the word allow. And it's the ultimate form of just mindfulness. Yeah, you could call it a guided meditation, but it's really just you being in the now. And that's where everything happens. I think I'm going to wrap this up in just a few minutes, but let me think of a couple more things just to mention. Abe, the Abraham. Angel on everyone's team that you can meet. He's a big grandfather figure. If I had to be kind of dorky here and describe him, I'd say cross between Dumbledore out of, what is that, Harry Potter, and Gandalf out of Lord of the Rings. He just has got bearded hair. He's super friendly, very masculine figure, good kind of fatherly energy. He's on everyone's team. He's the only one of all the angels that I know. He likes to spend a lot of time on the ground handing out fish rather than teaching fishing. And that's something else that I should mention. You can see angels in human form. They would look like me, look like you, look like your sister. Usually it's a complete stranger. And your car doesn't have to flip over and it's not your time to go for you to be rescued by an angel. It doesn't have to be that drastic. But it could be just you running into a coffee shop, looking too much at your cell phone, and a complete stranger holds the door open for you and says, "What's the rush?" With twinkly eyes. Or just whatever you thought an hour earlier that you needed to hear. You're not having the best of days. And you hear a stranger who gives you the nicest, kindest words, pretty much in line with what you were hoping to hear earlier in the day, and you turn around and that stranger's gone. It's very possible to see angels in human form. I know if you're listening to this podcast or this broadcast, this live stream, video cast, you've got to accept that angels exist. It's a stretch. But for those who can do it, I got lucky with the camera. I've got 15,000 photos. You only need one photo, one angel to get any answer to any question, and you only need one angel to get a hug, and you only need one angel to be able to see. It's a very special occurrence. The figures from India are special. The figures from like Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Black Elk, very special as well. Anybody's in a position to help you with your answers, a passed over loved one. So the real question is, where are you? Are you ready to listen? And I'm really good at helping a person, slicing in, helping a person step out of what they know, what they think their situation is, what they think their limits are. I mean, pretty much our thinking is limiting, and it's meant in a positive way in the sense that our thinking, our ego tries to keep us safe and secure, but we end up cutting ourselves off from a lot of the flow in life. And that ends up restricting a lot of possibility. And so this is more about exploring what already is inside and around you, what you're capable of without maybe you realizing it. And it's, again, fantastic for getting any details to any questions. Thinking about starting a business, or it's the pandemic. You've got all these questions now because, for a lot of folks, situations have changed. So you get fantastic advice, and at the end of the day, you're still left with, well, how do I take those action steps? It's just another opportunity to talk with those 3 Native American chiefs, with angels, to get past just those action steps, the details. Hey, you should do this, this, this. You could consider this step. But it also works on how we're, I don't like to use the word programming, but how we're oriented. We've got a lot of life experience under our belts, every single human being. We've got certain ways that we roll or don't roll. We've got a certain way, not many of us are going to run out and take action like that. And if we were here taking action all the time, life would be so much simpler. So the more you're in the flow, the easier it is to pretty much do anything in the moment. If we're talking art, cooking, business decisions, connecting with others. Instead, our thinking cuts us off from that. So this is about 5-10% of the day just doing a little bit less thinking. The service itself, again, meeting angels. If you go to www.michaelandreford.com, find the testimonials, find photos of angels, have fun with it all. I'll sign off at 45 minutes here. Thank you for everybody for listening. Again, anyone can meet, hear, and see angels, and all the other works behind me on the shelves are fantastic. Kick me out of the way. You can do this on your own. But if anyone needs help getting out of their own way, look me up on the website. Again, www.michaelandreford.com. If you want to spend $5, go to Amazon. The book is Listening to Angels by Michael Ford. And if you think I wrote that book, thank you very much in advance. Written by angels, very gentle, very compassionate. I hope everybody has a wonderful month of August, and thank you very much.